filter function is basically required whenever you want to filter some values from a given sequence. So a sequence can be your list, tuple, and maybe set. Okay. So from a given sequence, if I want to filter out certain values based on some condition, then I can take the help of this filter function. So what is the syntax? Filter function is going to take two parameters. One is the function, which is nothing but an argument which is responsible to check the condition. Because when I'm filtering, I will specify some condition based on which the filter has to happen. So that is what defined by this function. Whereas sequence is nothing but the set of elements which is going to be provided to the function, and based on the condition it is going to filter out those values which are satisfying the condition. So here this function argument is responsible for the checking the condition, and your sequence, as I said, is nothing but can be a list, can be a tuple, or can be a string. Now let's see an example where I'm not using the lambda function. What is the purpose of this is without using lambda function, we are trying to apply this filter. The same we will revise with the lambda function also. Let's say we have defined one function here, that is even, and this function is going to return true if this x is an even number. So if it is divisible by 2, then it is going to return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. Now here we have taken a list S holding certain set of values here. Now here I am calling this filter because filter is expecting two arguments, right? The first one is the name of the function. What is the name of the function here? Is even. And the second one is a sequence. So what is the sequence here? S, which is nothing but a list. Now each of these elements have been, each of the element of this S has been supplied as an argument to this function is even, and then on that element this body will be executed. Now for the first time when we see the element is 23, so x value is going to be 23. Now because this condition 23 percentile 2 equal to 0 is failing, hence we are going to return false, which means this is not the element or the value which I'm expecting. Okay, so the element for which this function is going to return true, those are the ones which are going to be filtered now. So as a result, when I move on to the next element, that is 45, once again this condition fails. So this also I am not going to get in my filter list. But now when 22 has arrived, so 22 percentile 2 equal to 0, this condition gets satisfied. Hence we are going to return true. So for the element 22, we have seen this function is returning true, means it is satisfying my condition that I have mentioned. So as a result, I have been added 22 into my output. Similarly, 59 is not satisfying a condition, whereas your 44 is satisfying, that also now added. Similarly, 15 does not satisfy, 62 again satisfy, that also being added. Now all the elements that I have received out of this filter, we are just trying to put into a list. And we know that we can create a list by using the list function. So all the elements that are received out of this filter, we have applied a list and we are creating one list. What is the list name is R. So when I'm printing this R, I'm getting the list of elements where each element is actually an even number which is divisible by 2. Now let's see how the same program can be transformed into using the lambda function. So once again what we have done, we have taken a list of a sequence we have taken. Now here you can see I am using the filter function, but this time in the place of function I am not writing any predefined function here, Like here in the example, is even was written, right? So here I'm not writing anything of that sign, but rather what I'm writing is I'm writing some lambda function. And we know lambda function we normally write like lambda, and here we write the argument list, a colon followed by some expression. Now S is nothing but the list which we have taken. Now each of the element of this list, that is starting with 23, so is being taken. So now lambda function is going to work on 23. I mean x is becoming 23 for the first time. So 23 percentile 2 equal to 0. This condition fails. Hence lambda function is not going to return anything out of it. Similarly for 45 also this condition fails. So lambda function will not return anything. But for 22 it is going to be satisfied. Hence 22 is returned out of this lambda function. We have already told you that lambda function automatically returns the value, right? So similarly, so 22 is returned, 59 it is not satisfying, 44 is satisfied, it is going to return, 15 not satisfied, 62 gets satisfied. So this lambda function, while working or taking the x value like 22, 44 and 62, this condition gets satisfied. Hence they are going to be returned into the filter. Now, like in the previous program, we have applied the list function to store all those filtered values in the form of a list. And here we are trying to print that particular list. So we get the same output what we have got earlier. So the only difference is here we have specifically defined a function having some name. But here we have not given any name to our function because we are using an anonymous function or lambda function.